You guys know where my fabric is. It's up in the front, inside the boxes. Thank you, Ethan. One word of caution I wanted to remind you guys. I have a lot of these fabric samples. Hi guys. I have a lot of fabric samples. Some of them are easy, like this one. It's just a staple, and you can take off this cardboard and get the fabric. Some of them, that cardboard is like industrial strength glue. Okay? Guys. Thank you, Hebert. Yes, open it. So, if you find fabric that has like really, really strong cardboard, you just have to assume that you can't use that piece. Because this might be too hard to take off. Okay? So be caution about that. Jaden, okay. When you go to find a fabric, one thing to make sure of, like let's say I really like this fabric, I want to make a shirt. My class 5 years ago, no. When did the pandemic start? A million years ago. Cut a giant hole. So I can use like this much, but this is kind of gone, right? Guys. Jaden. Man, my cat's gonna be so clean with all these curse jars. I love it. What? Now, when you're gonna make clothes, just like your SockMonster, you need a front and a back, right? The front of the shirt, back of the shirt, front of the pants, back of the pants. You'll have to have your little guy already stuffed and ready, so that way you know how much fabric you're gonna need. So this is okay, like I have a front of the shirt and the back of the shirt. That's like enough for here, right? If I'm gonna give him a shirt, it'll work. I'm actually going to use this fabric. When I go to draw the shirt, do I use this side or do I use this side? Ugly side. The challenge is, you guys are gonna pick. This side's really nice, technically, you know, pretty side. But let's say this is too dark for me, and I kind of like this more faded look. This will be my pretty side. This will be my ugly side. You guys will pick those sides. Okay? How am I pulling this? Also be careful. A lot of this fabric like falls on the floor. People are stepping on it. It happens. So I have my little guy. I'm going to give him a shirt with sleeves. Remember that it's always going to get smaller. When you go to draw on your fabric, it's almost like making that body chalk outline, right? You're going to go around his body or her body or their body, whichever pronoun your SockMonster enjoys. Everyone is welcome here. Right? So it's kind of looking like I'm outlining him. What capital letter does this look like? A T. Yeah. If you think, and depending, so his arms go straight out. He's ready to hug somebody. If your arms are different, you might draw it different. You're really just putting your little guy there and then outlining him.
Yes. I think I'm late, right?
Yes. Go sit down. Now, let's say you want to have a different, like, scoop neck. I always tell everyone, just cut it straight across. You can always cut more fabric off, but once you cut it, that's it. So give yourself more, and then you can always keep trimming and trimming and trimming to get it how you want it to be. Now question, here's his shirt, right here's his arms, that's where his head's gonna go. Actually, I gotta draw where his head is, because it just looks like a letter T. Here's where part of his head is. Here's the other part. Question to the class, am I gonna sew my running stitch down here on his shirt? Why? Because he has to put it on. Yes. Ding, 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 ding. This is kind of where my students get a little confused, because they'll cut it up. They're like, this is going to be an amazing shirt, and then they forget where to sew. So when you go to sew, running stitch, right? We're doing our little dashes. And then you stop, because his arm has to go through. Same thing here. This is kind of like a little number 7. Running stitch, running stitch. How many times do we do the running stitch? 2 times, yes. You guessed right. I've been talking about it too much. It's in your head now. Do not close where his head's gonna go. A lot of my students will accidentally sew all the way across. I have drilled it in your head to close everything too much. Now you got a little bit of a t-shirt. Okay, and I'll show this how it comes out tomorrow. To look at clothing. Here's this little guy. My student made him a few years ago. He's a little skater dude. One of the challenges with my denim, because I have different types of denim. I have more stretchy and like the harder one. But this always will happen with our fabric, right? This comes apart. What this student did was just rolled it, just made little cuffs for his little dude, right? What you can do, if you don't want to do the cuffs, like roll it, you'll just, ugly side out again. You'll roll it in, and then you'll do your ugly fly knot and do your stitches. If you guys look at your pants right now, that's kind of how they do it for jeans, Levi's, all that stuff. Here's that piece that's just like coming apart, ugly side out. I will put a little cuff, do my stitches, probably just one time. Just one row of running stitch, because when I turn it over, it has that nice little cuff right there. Okay? This is new. Some of you don't make clothing for dolls all the time. I always say just make the letter T when you're doing a shirt. Some students want to make it like an actual shirt that we buy at the store, and so you have to do front, your back, and each individual sleeve. You can, it's just I think it's too much. I'm not going to be grading you harshly on clothes. Clothes are a bit of a challenge. We're learning how to sew. I care more about not seeing stitches, details, things like that. If we look at this little guy, for instance, he's been through a battle. That's why he's wearing the army. The overstitch they did here, actually, I don't mind, because it looks intentional, right? It looks like a detail to the clothing. But these guys, not so much. It should have been running stitch, should have been running stitch here, but it matches this and it matches the back. Just like the eyes, if you make a mistake, you just gotta be intentional about it so that way it looks right. But just be careful with the clothes. I'll help you if you need anything. Does anybody know what this fabric is called? Tulle. Yeah. Some people don't want to make like full-on clothes. I know, I forget what club it was, but they were selling skirts last semester. Basically, it's a rubber band around the doll. They cut up pieces of tulle and then just started knotting it on here. I have a lot of tulle for you guys to use. I just didn't put it out because I wasn't sure, or I know no one's going to want to use it for arms and legs. Now this is just a little bit. I have a lot more. I don't have every color, but I have it if you want to use it. It's tulle. It's a type of see-through fabric. So if you wanted a detail, if you wanted to flow, if you wanted to have some kind of like thing to it, that's what you're gonna do. Okay? And then lastly, some of you were talking about making hats. Like a beanie. So this little beanie, all they did, here's that ugly fly knot. They did the running stitch all the way around. You can kind of see it right here. And when you pull it, it cinches this together, right? It sucks it up. So when you flip it, you get this really nice little beanie top. Same thing. If you know, she just kind of rolled it and then did just some nice running stitch to make it the little like cuff of the beanie. If you wanted to add it to the back of a jacket or a shirt, you could, you know, you're just sewing it attached to the shirt. There's a lot of different ways to do beanies or to do the hats. You don't have to do clothes. Remember, it's up to you. The shirts are the easiest ones to do. Pants, same thing. If you're going to do pants, again, you're going to get two sides, right? We got to have back and front of the pants. Our sock monsters have a semi-dress code. They should be wearing clothes properly. Even though my legs are really far apart, I would just cut one line. Draw on the sides, right? And then just cut one line down, and then just sew these parts. Sew the rainbow, sew down this side. Okay? Not too hard. You guys know how to sew. That's not the challenge.